There are 6 high-level themes. We'll try to cover each one of those and try to also make sure that there is some sort of a takeaways for you in the session. The first one is strengthening the foundation of business agility. You can see that the approach where you must have heard about Eric Ries's lean startup, that focus is still there. To achieve the business agility, there is what is called business agility value stream, BAVS. That is a new concept introduced. And this is nothing but, again, we need to sense the opportunity, figure out an MVP, fund that, and then organize around the value. And as the MVP gets developed, built, then it gets delivered. Then you try to evaluate that hypothesis of what you have started off with. If it is the way you want to move forward, then persevere and make the product more robust. If not, you pivot from there and come up with a new hypothesis or idea and try to validate that and get into the next level. And then you deliver this value continuously. And finally, you learn from what you have delivered and adapt very quickly so that you can use that learnings for your future value streams as well. So the changes, what this has brought about is to the LPM class, Lean Portfolio Management class, as well as in the Leading Safe class. Strengthening the foundation for business agility. The other changes you would notice, like I talked about in the initial slide, that the foundation part, now you have that continuous learning culture. That is a new add to the foundation. Previously, it used to be just lean agile leadership, but now you have the continuous learning culture. Impacts lean portfolio management and also Leading Safe. Remember, if you have taken the Leading Safe class previously, there was Safe House of Lean. The foundation, the roof is the value which is kind of generated. There's pillars in that, but that has been kind of changed to be a little more precise and also try to help you understand what is that lean thinking is. So if you look at those chevrons, right? Step 1, step 2, step 3 in that lean flow, you will always have a trigger point, you have the lead time, and then you deliver that value. So the principles, what has been stated, again, very, very, comprehensively it is described as part of the program itself, where you have, the value, what needs to be delivered from the product perspective. What is that value stream you are trying to develop for each of the product? You need to identify that. You need to make the value flow without interruptions, meaning, again, try to eliminate those waste in the value flow. And also, if there is anything you want to pursue perfection, you need to focus and then try to look for perfection, try to make it more as lean as possible. And finally, you need to let the customer pull the value from the producer itself. So these principles were taught in detail as part of this. And the next slide talks about how you can precisely specify the value by product. Again, talking about the bi-directional value exchange, value to the customers and value to the enterprise. This bi-directional is always helpful. And there is some changes done to the Leading Safe course curriculum in the process. Identifying the value for each product. The development value stream, what you're seeing, define, build, validate, and release. For the systems, what is there in that operational value stream, that is very clearly articulated now to look for the feature request and then try to deliver that increment of value to the end customer and then repeat that process for the product life cycle itself. The third principle, which is make value flow without interruptions. Here, there are 8 common properties of value systems. The queue, especially in the chevrons, you have that queue, the work in process, the WIP, how you can optimize the work in process, the feedback, what you're taking from the end customer, and then trying to look in that lean flow itself, what are those bottlenecks are there, how each performers are, as they're working through it, how they are resolving those bottlenecks and moving forward. And they have that visibility in a Kanban flow. At the same time, if there is any handoffs, that needs to be clearly articulated. And also, the most important thing is reduce your batch size to as small as possible, especially if you're in the delivery streams, trying to bring that stories as small as to fit into an iteration. If it is a feature, it has to fit into a PI, but more importantly, try to reduce the batch size as much as possible. Leading safe, again, some content is removed from there. The fourth principle of lean, let the customer pull the value from the producer itself. So previously it used to be push-based value flow. Now it is more the focus is on the pull. And the way, again, customer pulling that value from the producer, the way it is emphasized is the customer gets involved into that into the stream, trying to, while the team is continuously exploring, the customer contributes for that. And then while they are building, their customer is giving the feedback, and the fast feedback cycles will help to get the product more robust, and eventually the value is delivered back to the customer. Finally, the fifth principle is pursue perfection. The way it is done is, you have the flow metrics, flow load, the flow distribution, flow velocity, flow time, flow efficiency, flow predictability. All these things will help you to look at the current state, or try to see how much you have progressed from the current state or previous baseline state, and try to identify, are you moving in the right direction? If there is certain things which are not optimized, maybe that will give you an opportunity to optimize it. Again, the content is corrected in the Leading Safe as part of this.